welcome to the February 4th Abington Finance Committee meeting. We have a relatively modest agenda tonight. We will go over the update on the FY27 budget. We will kind of finish things off with our police chief and the police department. Then we'll go through our standing business, liaison reports, correspondence, sneak preview. There's no correspondence. Review of minutes, sneak preview. We actually have minutes to review this week. And then discussions of next meeting, which will be next week, the 11th. So let's get to it. We have our town manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and to the committee. I'll give just a quick update. I mentioned the last time that I was before the board that on we were going to file for free cash on the 30th, which we did. So we've filed with the state all the appropriate paperwork. Thank you to everyone that did that. And now we're waiting to get that certified. Hopefully it will be certified in a month. We hope. Keep our fingers crossed. It's up to the state. We did that. As folks know, March 23rd is the deadline for the final numbers and to plug in what we're going to need on the override questions. I'm going to roll out the 27 budget sometime in March at a select board meeting to be determined, but probably closer towards the middle of the month. The governor released her FY27 budget with local aid numbers. I'm sure people saw it by now, but Chapter 70 was $14,977,203. Unrestricted was $2,509,945. Andrew will get into it in more details, but it's not great. You know, it's roughly at 2%, but when you little over 2%, but when you factor in the assessments, it's really like 1.1%. So not good numbers. We had hoped that they'd be higher, but it's the first bite of the apple. From this, it goes to the House. The House will take their budget up right after April vacation, and then the Senate takes their budget up the week going into Memorial Day weekend. Then it goes to conference committee, so we'll have a better idea. You know, usually it's election year, so senators and reps like to be able to go back to their district and say, you know, we're going to get better numbers for you. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed
Yes.
on that one.
And that's all I have, sir.
What, to either of you, what does free cash tentatively look like?
I want to be careful about speculating.
Yeah.
If you, maybe, Andrew, you want to just give a range, not too high, though, not because in case we don't meet the...
Hopefully at least 2 million-ish.
Okay.
But you filed a number.
We've filed a,
You file a
file
whole host of documents, and
Yes.
they go through, and they can ping you on different things, you know,
Yeah.
depends, what, you know, I'm not an expert, Andrew will be much more of an expert, but in my years they can ping you on snow and ice, they can ping you on unpaid bills, there's a litany of things. That's why I don't like to get numbers out there, because then it's like, you don't know what you're talking about, so we like to be very conservative until, you know, the state, we get a call from Martin, is our person that's reviewing, he calls us and says, hey, this is the number.
But I get what you're saying,
But-
and you know what you sent in.
You put a number at the bottom of the list, is what I'm saying. At the
We do, but I'm not
Which is
gonna,
the
yeah, which is, yeah.
yeah.
I don't want to speculate.
Andrew, can I ask a question?
Sure.
So, because I'm
Finance
confused
committee.
again. This is the money for free cash that we can use for next year's budget, or is this to finish out last year's budget?
We can use it for anything that we would like. That's
But going into the budget that we're
yes,
currently working on?
we can use it for the 26 budget
Okay,
with a voted town meeting, or we can apply it to next year's budget.
okay.
Or to
So the budget we're in,
capital,
if we had things we
or
had to pay
things
off,
like
we
snow
could.
and ice.
Right.
which is
Yes.
usually like snow and ice.
Okay.
And then going forward, the budget that we're currently working on.
Okay.
Yep.
Why, yeah, I'm sorry. Upstairs, I have something wrong where I can't let stuff like this go. So why can't we just say this is the number, but it might change? Like, that's life.
Well, Andrew said we're
But it-
hoping for,
But hoping is not like, the number is X, and it might change. It might go up, might go down, but this is the number that we have right now, which is
I
how
think what we
we
can
calculated.
say won't go up, right?
I think
They're not, the state's not gonna take our paperwork and be like, no, here's some more money.
No.
So for example, we said like hopefully 2 million. are we talking like 2 to 2.2 or 2 to like 6?
Well, see,
Or are
this
we
is why,
talking like
so.
1.6 to 2?
Or
Right,
even
like
just say,
orders of magnitude.
I don't mind saying, just the number's 2 and it might change, like that, if the number's 2 and it might change, I think that just, I don't, just from my brain, it just sounds better when you're saying that instead of, well, we don't really want to talk about it, we're hoping for a number.
Based on our estimates, I think 2 million is the worst
There you
case
go.
scenario. There is significant upside because we've done a lot of work cleaning up in terms of reconciliations, but we still don't know if he was going to ding us on snow and ice.
No, but whatever you just said sounds so much better than whatever we just said 60 seconds ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
with Greg on that.
I think that might be.
I think
is that
that's
the
a
first
fair
time?
way to put that.
I
No,
agree with
I'm
you.
only kidding, I'm only kidding. I appreciate it, thank you. All right.
all right. Anything else on the summary of where we're at with the budget?
The document that you have in front of you is the way the budget stands right now.
Yep.
The tax levy is.
Sorry to just pause you there for Floyd and Emily especially. This is the document that we're used to seeing like on a week-by-week basis with updates as we go through the budget process and work with the finance team. Andrew and the town manager will work with the departments and try to bring the numbers at the top closer to balanced as we get closer to town meeting. And we've got about a month and a half, based on the numbers we just talked about, to get to a better number here.
So if you see up on the top left corner in tiny print, so if you got a couple of these and you weren't sure which was the most updated one, right at the top, date printed, February 3rd.
Yep. And the number at this point, even in good years, is in a deficit at this point in the process. So that is not unexpected to see that. The amount of deficit is more than I have seen at this point in other years, and that's certainly a concern.
Yes.
Sorry,
Right.
continue.
So we've updated this with the governor's budget. What can change now is the amount for the debt exclusion because we still need to figure out the debt schedule. That will also affect the expense side, which appears in the treasurer's budget. Local receipts. Though if you look at the FY25 actuals, we had about 7.8 million in local receipts, and that's artificially high because of the Summer Street project that brought in almost $1 million more than we usually do. We usually do like 400 to 500K in building permits. So the FY26 estimates are a bit, they reflect that fact.
Yep.
And right now we're just forecasting that as flat.
Can you repeat what that was again? I'm just trying to find it on this. Wait.
Right.
So if you look, Abby, in most of the way down on the sheet,
Okay.
if you look where it says in bold on the left, estimated local receipts, up from there, that section, Andrew was talking, if you look at license and permits especially in there,
Okay.
and we're expecting that to be less because the Summer Street project brought in a lot of licensing and permitting.
Right.
I
So
was
more-
looking higher up.
Yep.
Thank you.
The other thing that could change are the enterprise reimbursements, which that's the transfers in from enterprise funds under estimated available funds. That depends on the debt schedule as well as health insurance. We do charge the enterprises their share of the debt directly. So again, that will depend on the debt schedule.
Who pays for the Summer Street permits?
The builder.
The developer.
And the developer, who pays the developer?
The people that buy the units or rent the units.
No, that's what I mean, so this was for the water?
No,
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 I
the
thought you
housing, the
just said
housing,
the water thing.
no,
My
the
bad.
housing, the
I
housing.
thought it was Summer Street water thing, whatever, that's what I thought.
Summer Street Housing
Yeah,
Development.
yep.
You wanted to just take a quick look at state aid historically. You've seen this chart last year, and I've updated it with this year's numbers. As you can see, in the early part of the decade, the state was quite a bit more generous with state aid than they're being now. Over the past couple of years, we've gotten less than 2.5% net from the state,
Yes.
which is really not sustainable.
No.
This year's net aid is increasing by about 1%, which is, yeah.
Is choking the 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts.
Right. Our
2023.
less than 160K. Less than 160K.
It's in that.
I was just saying, I'm thinking like that from 2020 on, or more 2021, I suppose. I don't want to say artificially inflated, but some of that was because we had more money due to COVID funding, right, that we were getting, or is that,
I don't think so.
No?
COVID money is handled separately through grants, which
Correct.
wouldn't necessarily affect these numbers.
I don't remember
Was-
getting a 17.9% in 2023.
We had the year where the school went way up because
Yeah.
of.
Yeah,
The state was funding the
the-
Student Opportunity
yeah,
Act.
the Student Opportunity Act was a big change. But that,
I don't remember.
is this all state aid or is this just?
All state aid.
Okay. Yeah, there was a year that we got a big jump in school money because of the Student Opportunity Act.
If I may, just to address Barbara's, the COVID money came through the county, and it came through CARES Act first, and then ARPA funds after that. It was separate. Our county did it based through the county administration of it.
Yeah. And it was mostly reimbursement.
Correct.
We would
Right, we
apply-
pay it
would
out, yeah.
Pay for something.
remember
and
that.
then
I just-
Put in for reimbursement for it.
Fun fact, I did look this up earlier. There are some municipalities that pay more in assessments to the state than they get in state aid. We're lucky that we're not one of those communities.
Oh,
Yeah. I believe 3 of them are in the Cape and 2 on Martha's Vineyard.
That makes sense.
Do they give a reason why it seems like it walked away?
The,
I
essentially.
don't think they're gonna give you a reason.
Essentially, the
I'm just like-
governor has other priorities for
Right.
what her budget is spending money on.
Right.
I just feel like cities and towns should be pretty high up there.
They should, in my opinion as well.
Okay,
As-
so I'm not crazy.
Not everyone shares that opinion.
Okay.
And the
As
current governor does not have as high an opinion as the previous governor did. I'll put it that way.
Can't change it,
Andrew has
No.
a
so.
take on that.
just some additional color.
This is the executive.
For FY26, I believe the state budget went up by 7%. If you compare that to state aid,
Yes.
1.8. This year,
Print another
I
one.
think it's 3.5% compared to 1% in state
I
aid.
think it was almost 8% it went up, but it was in the sevens.
Yeah.
Is,
Yep, and 2025 was similar. It was a,
is this
relatively
adjusted
high
for
with a
like
low.
inflation or anything, or is this?
These are the
this is-
numbers.
This is just flat
Okay.
numbers. So,
I would point out that even if our state aid out went up 3%, that's only another 318,000. We're
Right.
still short,
yes.
level
Right. We
funded,
would
3
still be
million.
short, but a little less short.
A lot,
We need like
Tiny bit less,
18%, 15%.
If it was 17.9%.
It'd be great.
We'd be in a
So
little bit
We're,
of a better place.
our
We also
expenses are
can't-
going
We
Yeah.
also are not expecting
No,
it
no,
to
no.
be
Let's-
nothing we can-
17.9%. So,
We can only
it's not
control.
just the state that's the problem.
No,
No, it trickles down because the state has to, if I may, Mr. Chair.
Yeah,
The state has to make up for the federal money that they're losing.
Yeah.
And it, cities and towns, they gotta look at where the big pools of money are.
We're spending more and more money.
yes, and to be fair,
Yeah.
to Chris's point, if the number had been better last year, our level service, or our level funded number would have a higher number to try to reach
That's right.
this year, because we would have spent more money last year in our budget, so,
I would have thought that.
maybe. Anything else?
not to put everything on the state. There is a lot
It's
more
definitely not
transportation
all
money
on the
that we are getting. So it's those, to the extent that those fund projects that we need around here for infrastructure, that's great. It just doesn't help keep the lights on.
Another kind of silver lining to add to your some states with higher assessments than, we're not also getting sued by the state over the MBTA.
Yes, we did.
So we're in a good place
That's a
there.
plus.
Yes.
It's a plus, not getting sued. So there are several towns that are, so. Anything else?
That's my update.
All right. Mr. Town Manager, anything else?
I'm good, thank you.
All right, thank you both. Does anyone have questions? Additional questions? We've asked several already, so. All right, moving on our agenda, our next item is continuing our discussion with our police chief. Chief Bonnie, don't mind joining us?
For having me back.
We appreciate you coming back.
Everybody's making sequels these days. You know,
It's definitely the in thing.
But they're often worse than the first. So
Yeah.
what are we expecting from
This will be a
you?
little bit less painful. So when I left, I realized I had neglected to talk about two things. The cost of training and hiring 6 new officers. We hired and trained 7, but I reduced it to 6 because if we don't get the override, we're losing 6. So if we ever get 6 back. I have good news. If in the booklet, if you go back and look in the booklet, so this is the page here. There's a spot where it says 12-week FTO. Put the decimal on the wrong place. You guys don't really care about decimal places, right? So the cost of the 12-week FTO is not $145,707. It's $14,570. So look, I'm just saving money all over.
Really
It's a
is.
much more
Yes.
palatable number.
That's 1% of the state.
Yeah, see? But, so the overall cost is almost $81,800, basically. So the real shame of it all is, like, we've spent this money already to train and hire these people, and if we lose them, we're just taking this nearly $82,000 and just throwing it away. So on top of that. So moving on to the capital expenses.
I just want to point out, which we've been doing for years, right? We train the officers, we put them through the academy, and then we don't hold on to them through whatever reason, whether it's budget, whether it's the officers at one point didn't want to be here, whatever the reason is, they go to another town. So it's like, or they go to the state police, or so we've just made an investment and then given it to another town or another location, community, yeah.
Yeah, as we discussed last time, we've finally gotten ourselves in a much better position as far as the attractiveness of the department and the retention rate in the department. And it would be difficult to finally get to that point and turn around and have to lose people for budgetary reasons.
It definitely would. We have a group now that's excited to be here. They are, recruiting people to want to come, should we have open positions, which is nice to see.
Definitely a good.
And they, and again, I don't want to sit here, I as the chief get a lot of credit for this, and I don't want to sit here and take it. There's an old movie called The Money Pit with Tom Hanks, and at the end of that, the contractor talks about the foundation of the house was good. I came into a good foundation. The group of men and women I work with are extremely talented, they're very dedicated, and if it weren't for them, we couldn't have accomplished what we've accomplished in the last year and a half. So, that's why people have stayed.
But just from a financial aspect of it, financially, we just continue to throw money away every time that we do this.
Yeah, it would be very, very
goes in
painful
cycles.
to lose this, for sure. So the capital requests, I know you don't remember everything I've said from the last time, but we decided last year, we definitely needed new tasers because our tasers were 21 years old. And so we replaced the tasers, and we decided that we were going to finance the tasers over 5 years to make it a bit more palatable. So this year will be year 2 of 5, and the cost for that will be another $17,249.52. And then, I don't know if you remember the fleet leasing agreement for new cruisers that we went into, so this is year 2 of that. So, we're planning on leasing another 4 new vehicles come FY '27, and that will cost about $142,377. That's an increase from what we thought last year, but we actually had to tack on, I think it was about another 10,000. One of our cruisers was totaled in a crash after a pursuit, and so we just took delivery of a new vehicle to replace that, and we were shorted on the replacement cost by 10,000 because it was an older vehicle, so we tacked that on to the end. So 142,377 is the fleet leasing cost for the 4 cruisers. And again, 3 cruisers, if we purchased it outright, would be approximately, and this is last year's number, $207,710. So the leasing process has
As we
been amazing.
discussed last year, the cost seems to be beneficial.
Yeah, so in the end, there's an overall cost savings of, over the 5 years, we will take delivery of 24 new cruisers as opposed to 15 on the 3232 purchase that we used to do. And we're still saving money on the end. And we're getting hybrids, so the warranties are covered by the dealership, so we're spending less money with DPW repairing our vehicles, and it's a cost savings all around.
Additionally, actually, so we've discussed in the past, the cruisers are pretty much constantly on.
Yep.
Whether they're actually driving on the road or idling or whatever, they're almost on round the clock for the year.
Yes.
What's the approximate mileage per year that we would put on a cruiser? Do you
Oh,
know?
that's a good question. I don't have the answer to that, but I'll email that to you if you'd
Or
like.
what's the approximate lifespan?
The approximate lifespan of a line cruiser is 3 to 4 years.
So so the way I was looking at it is, if I'm looking at purchasing a new car, I am purchasing it with the intent that it is going to last longer than the length of the
Right.
loan.
And
so
most
that
loans
I am-
now are like 7 years.
So that I am not paying for it
Yep.
after I own it. If I'm going to be paying for it after I'm owning it, leasing is a much more viable option
Yeah.
if I don't have to pay penalties for the number of miles.
Yeah.
I assume we're not paying penalties.
Oh,
for the
no,
number
there's
of
nothing like
miles.
that, no.
So,
So basically, at
In
the
the
end of
case
the
where
lease,
we're-
we have the option to buy the cruiser for $1,
Yeah.
and we just can retain the cruiser. The reason why this cost for the 4 cruisers is so low is Enterprise, for some reason, has some might in resale. They can resell
Yes.
vehicles better than anybody. So if we turn the vehicles over, newer vehicles, we get a better rate of return for the receiving newer vehicles.
actually bought a car from Enterprise
Did you?
many years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
So,
surprising thing that you didn't know was out there until my brother-in-law was working for them, so.
yeah, yep. And my cruiser will be replaced. It had to be sent away, but I found
What
out
happened
today.
to it?
I don't know. Somebody wanted to have a cookout on it or something. I don't know. It was, yeah. So we found out today they are going to be able to repair it instead of just put it to rest. So I'll have it for another few months, and then it's at end of life anyway. So
What did Enterprise do for the totaled vehicle?
we just leased a vehicle through them. We could just sort of start that lease, and we sent them the insurance money. Is that correct? I think so. I think we sent them the insurance return, but it was short the 10 grand of the cost of a newer, so we tacked it on at the end. So, yeah.
So that's capital.
Yes. Those are the only 2 capital.
That's the only, okay. Anything else?
That's it.
I know we were a little bit rushed at the end of when Chief was here the other week.
feel free
and
to
we didn't
revisit anything.
have, like, we asked a lot of questions during, but we didn't have a good opportunity to ask questions at the end. And I know it's not necessarily as fresh in our minds, everything we talked about, but I think we got most of our questions out. Does anyone have anything else for the chief?
Is gap insurance available for you guys, or is it not because of it, how you guys use them?
I don't actually know that question. I don't know the answer to that. It's a very different thing because we're insured through Maya.
Right,
so
that's what I mean, so it might not be able
I'm
to be
not
done
sure
on a
if that's
municipal level or
possibility.
something.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we can get it.
That would be great.
Probably.
Yeah, we'll look into it.
Probably
Yeah.
save us money at some
I'm
point.
certain the deputy knows this stuff inside and out. I'll run that by him.
A lot of times you can get it through your insurance, so it's just for the time period of whatever you have, instead of buying it at the
Yeah.
point of sale.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be great. I wish we could just take we don't have rental, you know what I mean? You can't- I couldn't rent a cruiser. I'm driving some beat up, I don't know what it is, Charger right now. But, all right,
Anyone have
No,
anything
that's
else?
good. Thank you.
very good. All right.
Chief, thank you.
Thanks
Have
for
a great
coming
night.
back.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda are liaison reports.
Circle back to
Abby,
Andrew. I'm
Abby
so
is
sorry.
circling back before we even get to liaison reports.
Yeah, talking about the capital items made me, this up here with warrant articles, I noticed that there wasn't any. Do we have any idea yet on those?
So those are you talking about so these ones are the consent agenda ones that we do every year. We haven't put in the number yet,
Okay.
but no major changes there.
Am I really being the worst?
No.
No. Abby,
Also
Good
to you.
questions, yeah. Good questions, yeah.
Abby,
Yeah.
remember, as I told you when you first joined, if you have the question, there's probably a bunch of people at home that have the same question.
Okay.
So I definitely prefer you asking, even if you think it's not a great question, because it's better to have it out there and have it answered.
Okay. I was just, when we started talking about those ones, I didn't know if we had more of an idea of what was going to be on.
No, it's a good
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, capital is definitely something that comes together later in the budget process.
Okay.
Especially as we know finalized free cash numbers, have a better idea of snow and ice costs, of what we're gonna need to use, where we're at with deficit and stuff. We prefer not to use free cash towards the operating budget for the next year because that's not a good practice.
Oh, but I did want to ask, what is in our
Stabilization.
stabilization fund?
About 3.2 million.
It's raining.
Yeah.
It is.
We've done a very good job over the time that I have been on committee of putting money into our quote-unquote rainy day fund. We definitely do not want to fully expunge those funds, but those are probably something we will have to dip into this year. But this is the kind of scenario that we put money into that for, so. I greatly prefer the years where we're putting money into the stabilization fund.
Can you remind me how we put money into the stabilization?
So typically what it is when we go to town meeting, we have the budget, but we also have the capital plan, all of the different warrant articles. One of the warrant articles is typically, when we're in better financial times, one of the warrant articles is taking a portion, usually of free cash,
Okay.
and putting that into the stabilization.
Okay.
We kind of had a percentage that we had been doing each year for the past several years. Percentage of after the free cash was certified, we'd take a percentage of that and put that into stabilization. What was the percentage that we have been doing the last few years, Andrew?
An ideal target is like 3 to 5% of the
Yeah.
operating.
Particularly, I think in the year after COVID, we originally did the budget thinking we were gonna get
We were,
yeah, we
Costs
weren't
were
gonna be able,
gonna be-
we were gonna be in trouble.
yeah.
And,
that revenue
but
was gonna
then
be
we found out,
significantly
I
down.
think that's when we got some of the extra money from the state.
Yeah,
Or seemingly extra money. And so we did put some of that in the stabilization rather than just
yeah,
You
we
know,
were
spending it.
probably, 80 to 90% of the way through the budget process when COVID lockdowns hit. We expected that the next year's revenues were going to drop significantly. So we tightened our belts and dropped, like, we were already at a good point with that year's
Because
budget.
it was prior to any discussions about COVID relief funds
Yes.
or
And so
grants
we-
or homeschool
we had
schools
everybody-
needing, like all of that.
We had everybody tighten their belts and we decreased spending, and we put, at that point, it was probably about 2 million into the stabilization fund, because we were in a place where not only were we not gonna have to lay people off, but when the state and the revenue did not drop, we had that left over. So,
I'm sorry, I just want to clarify your comment about like, this would be the case when we might dip into that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mean to settle FY '26 expenses or put it
So-
towards?
I am certainly hopeful that it is not needed to settle FY '26 expenses.
Sure, so
FY
do you mean to apply it to a deficit
Potentially
for
to apply
27?
it to a deficit for '27.
Doesn't that just make 28?
It depends on what
even-
the outlook for '28 is.
And we have no idea yet for that, right?
Okay.
So,
All good conversations that
Yeah.
they have when, because when that
Yeah.
comes up, if that's brought up, you know, definitely want to voice your opinion on how you feel about that.
I believe Emily is voicing her opinion,
I-
verbally and non-verbally at the
Yeah,
moment.
that's,
Mr.
it
Chair,
just puts us in a precarious,
It does.
Position,
It
so-
absolutely does. And like I said, it's not something I would want
yeah,
to
no,
do.
of course,
But
but,
there's a reason that we put money into a quote-unquote rainy day fund, and
yeah.
it's for when it's financially raining.
I was gonna mention the
Roof is
other,
leaking.
the other part about the money and stabilization, the bond rating companies, S&P, they look at that. And so that has there's a relationship between that and what you get on the open market on the
Yes.
bond rate, yeah.
Our current bond rating is?
Double A.
Double A. And we have taken money out of stabilization in the past when we've needed to and remained at a double A.
Right.
I believe we took a small amount out at last year's town.
A little bit
meeting. It
less
was-
than 500K.
Yeah, it was not a significant,
And that-
not insignificant, but not extremely significant amount last year. Emily, ask.
I have a question maybe for the end, so we can go through and,
Well, we're at liaison reports, there's no correspondence.
So we're at the end.
We're at a good point to ask your
So-
question.
we're currently looking at a level funded deficit of 2.9 million and change.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I was like, whew, all right. So we would expect a deficit normally at this point in the process. You said we have about a month and a half. So over the last
Several months.
3 months, we've had the department heads come in here, present their budget. We still haven't met with some of them. What happens if the answer is, don't, just in an extreme, like, don't touch stabilization fund, that 3 million still exists, like, and suddenly we have to work with department heads to whittle that down like that?
We, and by we, it's not just us, but on almost a daily basis, town manager and the town accountant.
Oh, so you, great.
Working with
got you.
department heads
Yeah.
to whittle that down basically daily between now
Okay.
and when we have to actually vote on the budget.
Okay, and do they have to
They-
come back?
There are times where we'll call them back and ask them, but most of the time it happens during the
Okay.
week, and
Well, we get
we'll
the-
get an update.
Okay.
The information from the town manager
Yeah.
or from
And-
the town accountant.
And there are certainly things that we can bring up in times like this, discussing the budget of, we talked with this department about X, Y, or Z. Can they revisit that specific thing where we put
Sure.
input into what could potentially be done?
Okay.
And departments
Just-
are aware too, so they're kind of looking at like, geez, if
Yeah,
I
they're
don't get
already
this,
planning.
then I'm gonna have to, they know like what,
Yeah.
how deeply or
Yeah, I guess I just, who makes, or maybe not who makes the decision, but to what extent, like, where is the decision between we bring, let's assume this doesn't change, we bring this 2.9 to the town versus we bring a 0 to the town, like,
So-
where's the line,
So
like,
what
when do they
happen-
need to stop?
What happens is, as we get closer to town meeting, we will get to a point where we have the warrant and the articles that are on there. The budget will be on one of the articles. And at the point that we have to make a recommendation, we will have essentially a final number that we as a committee vote on whether or not we recommend that to the town to say yes or no to that amount.
Right, and so what's our like level of comfort? Is it like a number that we can cover with the stabilization fund? Is it, I mean, it
So
seems.
we are hopeful that the level funded will not need to cover anything with the stabilization money. The level service will likely be a number that we can't cover with stabilization money. I don't know what the town manager and town accountant's thoughts
it's a lot
are
of
on
hoping.
that.
Yeah, that's what I'm, that's
Yes.
what
It is a
I'm,
lot of hoping
Yes.
between now and
And a-
a month from
and a
now,
lot
when
of
free
work.
cash is certified, and they get a little bit more firmer numbers. We hope
So,
that 2.9 is decreases.
so
right, but to what level, you know, like what?
Additionally, some of the things that happen between now and then are, we find out real numbers on health insurance and what the health insurance is gonna cost, or other outstanding contracts, benefits, life insurance, those kinds of
Retirement,
Debt
things.
service.
Debt service numbers come in and we
Which
find
would all
out the real
drive this
number.
down?
It drives,
It
it
could drive it
Go
up.
up, could drive it.
could go up.
Some more hope, okay.
It could go up, but most of the time, we start the budget process, and this is why we start at a deficit every year. We start the budget process very conservative on our income
Projections.
estimates and aggressive on our expense estimates. And so usually both of those come closer together. In better fiscal times, we have seen it where we have gotten to the point of voting on it, and we're good, we're balanced.
We're balanced, yeah.
And we've got the ability to say to a department, yeah, we can actually bring in an extra person for you for this year. This is not one of those years, as everybody knows, but one of the other things is we'll have more information on what the actual numbers are for local receipts, for meals taxes, for excise taxes, for the levy itself. And we estimate lower to start on those numbers as well. And so we typically see an increase in those numbers. as
So
we
it's
go
not
through
like
the
all of a sudden
process.
we find money.
Right.
It's that we've been extremely conservative to putting the budget together. The town manager has been, and the town accountant are very conservative with the numbers that they use to start the budget. And so those numbers tend to get better.
Okay.
In more optimistic financial times, a lot of times what you see as the level service budget will will include wish list items from departments, and the wish list items will get taken away, which helps to get us to a balanced budget.
Okay.
I don't think we have any wish list items to take away in the budget
And
this
and
year.
even capital, Mr. Chairman, that's gonna be,
Yeah.
we'll have to really look at that. It's something that we absolutely have to have.
Right.
Police have to have vehicles.
Yes.
They can't patrol without it, so that rises to the top. Just if you may, just to provide just a little more clarity, what I'm doing now is, starting this week, I'm meeting with all the department heads. As we start to fine tune the number, as more information comes in, you know, we're a realist. The numbers, you know,
Bless you.
unless the state changed and gave us the, 17% worth of local aid, that would change things. Unfortunately, I'm working with department heads because I want them to understand, where their deficit is. What would we cut? I want to sit down because it's going to be important for folks to know when we have to, if the override doesn't pass,
Yes.
and we have to make those cuts, I want to be upfront. I think residents have to know exactly what the impact will be in the fire department, police department, the school department, and that number will keep changing because the most salient information when it comes to local receipts is, really driven by the last 2 quarters of the fiscal year. So we're starting to get, we'll have a better outlook.
And better for us to get that information from departments as they come in. We should be getting that information when departments come in to see us, that what their, I believe the police chief went over what his cuts would be. He
Yeah.
told you what his cuts would be,
Fire
so
went over
we
that.
should, so they're all kind of knowing or planning somewhere around these numbers, or somewhere around what would, they know what they need for an override.
But when we go to town meeting, this has to be zero, does it not?
Yes.
Okay, that was, okay.
Yeah,
thank
I
you.
think
That
that's
was
what you
my-
were
yeah.
asking.
Yes.
That has
We
to
have
be
to-
Because I
zero,
was like, are
some
we
way,
going in just
somehow.
hoping
Yes,
that they're
we
like,
have,
oh, we're
we
gonna
have
spend
to
money we
present
don't
a
have?
balanced
Like,
budget.
okay.
Yeah.
We
great.
have to find a way to get
Yeah.
Got
the level
Or
funded
there's an
number to
override
zero.
before the override.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Can't go in, you
that.
can't go
Right.
in with it.
So
Two overrides.
we have-
why
we have to go,
Yeah.
we have to go in with, and that's if it requires some of the free cash money, if it requires stabilization money.
Sure,
Whatever it is, we have to find a way to present a budget that is balanced to the
Yeah,
town.
okay, that's,
Which is why, like,
Yeah.
last
That's a-
year, we
that's a
would have
great-
taken,
great point, Chris.
a
Thank
certain
you.
amount out of stabilization because we had to walk into town meeting with a balanced budget.
I thought when we
and-
were talking about the hope, I thought we were taking a budget
taking the
town
hope
meeting,
to
and I
town
was like,
meeting?
I was like, this seems
No.
like a terrible idea, but y'all know
So,
better than me.
some of the things that we've had to do in some years is take something that costs like 200,000, like new books or curriculum for the schools or
Sure,
something.
yeah.
And take that out of the yearly budget and put it into the capital fund and pay for it with free cash
Yeah.
instead of paying for it with general fund
Okay.
money. Something we don't like to do, but have sometimes had to do to get the budget balanced overall.
And another point, if the state did up it to 17%, we'd still have a $400,000 deficit.
Right
right.
now.
Yep.
Yes.
But that's better than.
But it's better than, it's easy to close that gap.
Yes.
Just to
Andrew.
hopefully illustrate the process. What I have on the screen is the budget cut tracker from last year.
Can
So-
you make it a little bit bigger,
Yeah.
please?
Or a lot bigger.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Andrew.
It's all right.
That's my, Matt.
Is it
Zoom is in the middle of the, oh, it was in the middle of the screen.
my,
It's on the,
one sec.
there it is, top, middle.
Yeah.
Stay down, right.
Oh. My scroll, oh, there we go. Now it's
Thank
working.
you.
That's good.
The scroll wheel wasn't working. So last year, when we were going through this process, we had a $6.1 million hole that we covered with cuts, use of other one-time funds, adjustments. So it's not out of the ordinary to be where we are right now. We will get there, even if it means more cuts or adjustments. But as you can see, we go line by line. What can we do? What can be adjusted? What can we live without?
Right.
Is there other money somewhere else that we can use? And this is just a list of all of those adjustments that we come to an agreement on.
Are all the ARPA, it's all gone?
It's gone, yes.
Yes. Does that make things at least a little bit more understandable?
Yes, it does.
Good.
Thank you.
Other questions?
I'll make a statement here.
Statements are allowed to.
Yeah. I think, given the numbers, it's very important that we see the numbers.
Yes.
That we have as much information as we can have. And, sometimes I know the town manager in the past, for reasons, whether it's negotiation with unions and things like that, it makes sense, not everything has to be totally out in the open and public most years, but this year, I think we have to, at least in this group, we have to know what's going on. And we can't just explain away things by saying, oh, the state's not giving us money. But that's just my opinion. And Andrew is great at giving us information. We have so much more information than we used to have when I first started.
Yes. We definitely have significantly more information, and there was never, I don't believe there was ever anything posted on the town website before Andrew came, and so now the citizens of the town have
Transparency
a
and
lot
information.
more
and-
understanding of where the money is going and what it's being used for and stuff, which has been excellent, Andrew.
Yeah, there's really no, I'm gonna just comment on Mr. Murphy. There's no like hiding the numbers.
No. No.
Full disclosure, we
Yeah.
put the numbers out there. The numbers are what the numbers are.
Yeah.
Then it's up to town meeting
Yep.
and the vote for people to decide how
Yeah.
best they want to close.
I think though, like to Chris's point, lots of times we see on social media or just out there in the public, or even at town meeting, that people think that we're, we have a fat to cut. And while we may disagree on how much fat, we run pretty lean, and our numbers are what they are.
They are, yeah.
We don't have any extra administration, we don't have any extra bodies that are getting paid money that aren't working, and in a lot of places, we are understaffing.
Understand. Very lean. Yeah, to Barbara's point, that's true. I invite residents to come up and take a walk through Town Hall to see. We have very small numbers, and the people that are here are working really hard.
Yep. Emily?
So in a follow-up to that, the materials that are disseminated before and at town meeting, who's responsible for putting those together? Like, who leads the charge on that?
The two of
Okay,
us.
'cause
Yeah.
as far as I know, the committee, the
I assume that's
other
no
committee is
longer-
dead in the water that was going to be responsible for
Oh,
outreach and communication.
Yeah,
So.
that would be a question for the town manager, whether or not the previous town manager went over that with him and if that is going to continue.
And what was it?
You just answered it. Okay.
I think that answers the question.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm
So it was a
I'm all about getting
The
information
previous-
out there, yeah.
The previous town manager was putting
Yeah.
together a group to work on providing information and
Around the cuts, around
Yeah.
like, if we
Around
didn't
the-
fund level service, what would it mean for each of the departments?
That's what I'm working on right now, what it will mean,
Right,
what the
so-
effects will be.
Yeah.
this was like not just this group, it was made up of.
Right, there were a couple representatives from this group, a school, from the school.
someone from the school
Select.
committee.
Selectmen, like
And then
general.
community.
And what was the group called?
I think it was like
It's a
town
very-
managers committee.
It was a very good question.
Fiscal, fiscal
Fiscal
advisory.
advisory, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I think it was to get the information, have it discussed, and then get that information out to the public because they knew we were looking at an override.
With the plan of having sessions at like the senior center and other places.
Like
as
information.
in the lead up to town meeting, to provide people with the most information that we as the town could provide them.
And uniform information.
Yes.
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
Not spatterings of
Right.
information on social media.
Which we have done in the past, held kind of
Yeah.
town halls, so to
I
speak.
remember there were trash ones last
Where
year.
we're giving the information ahead of town meeting and recording it on cable and replaying it on.
I actually talked to Kevin Tocci about doing that, what I did in my other town. We would do all that leading up to town meeting. Andrew's done a fantastic job, but what Andrew did, we had that up on town meeting, all the pertinent documents weeks before, so that people were aware of, we asked them to download it too, to save on some cash. And then I would go out and speak to the senior center, not advocating, because you can't advocate for them to vote one way or the other, but letting them understand what the cuts are. Whatever group wanted to, make myself available to go out and talk to those groups. I'm doing a budget presentation on February 24th to the school committee, and then we just go on from there. But I'll look into getting this group going, see where we left off with it.
And I think my point in bringing it up is like, as much outreach and education as we attempt to do beforehand,
Yes.
you know,
The more we can do, the better.
the more we can do, the better. But at a certain point, you know,
Well,
at town meeting, does some of that happen?
so at town meeting,
Or can it happen?
the budget will be presented as a warrant article. We will present whatever our recommendation is for the budget. And then the floor will be open for discussion. And that's when,
Which there will be.
you would be surprised.
Really?
Most years, there is very little discussion on the budget. I don't think this will be most years. I think there will be more discussion this year than there typically is, but we have had years where
Like override years?
they're not override years, but there have been years where a multiple seven-figure budget is passed with no discussion, and there is a 45-minute discussion over a $25,000
Grant.
Yes.
Nice.
So
Yeah, it always
it
shocks
is,
me
it is
what
always a
people-
question to me as to what people choose to have discussion over at town meeting. I'm always fascinated by which thing catches people's fancy in each
And
particular year.
unfortunately, the
Maybe light
quorum
bulbs
or
at
the
town
number of
meeting.
people that do show up for town meeting. Fortunately, because of these discussions about overrides, that will probably bring a bigger crowd, but typically the attendance is lower, and so it tends to be the same group of people that are kind of watching meetings, plugging themselves in and able to get information ahead of time or avail themselves of the information ahead of time. So,
Okay.
But after the town meeting, there's a vote.
if the
Like an
town
like
meeting,
election vote.
so if the town meetings people vote to put an override to the ballot, then there would be a vote, I think, rather
Yeah.
quickly, because we need to
Yeah.
So
pass
I
our.
think it's
My
the,
point to
So
that.
we will vote at town meeting on the level funded budget
Yeah.
and on the level service budget. If the level service budget passes, then it will go to the ballot for override.
Right.
Because the funding sources for the level service budget will be the same funding sources as the level funded budget, and also in addition, an override of Proposition 2.5.
And it has to pass at both places. If it doesn't, then it's DOA.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it doesn't pass on the floor at town meeting, there won't be a vote on an override. because it's done.
Yeah. My next point was that if it does pass and then it goes to a vote, then those days in between, I think we need to get a lot of information out about what people are voting on. Because I think sometimes people
How
don't
many-
go to town.
Right.
How many days in between?
To your point,
think
exactly.
I
They
think
might
it's
not,
14
and
days. I'd
that's
have to
always
check
what
the date.
worries me, is that people go to town meeting and they have all of the information.
Yeah.
But then when people go to the polls, they haven't been to town meeting, they may not have been able to, they're working or whatever it is, they're not able to get the information, and then they go to the polls uninformed.
Yeah.
And that's
And we're gonna
scary-
have all that, I'm gonna have all that information way ahead of time. Because people are gonna need that information to be well-informed, I think there's always a core group of people, in my previous town, it was like 325 people are about the core. They go to every special or annual town meeting. And then when you have, hot button issues, that number may get up to like 500 people. And so you have to have the information ready for town meeting and for the ballot, because there's only a few weeks in between. The ballot usually brings out more people than would have shown up for town meeting. So,
Triple,
to Barbara's
usually.
point, yeah, to Barbara, it's important, they're gonna have to have the information long before, as early as we can get it out as possible.
Yeah, I remember when we went to the ballot for the new school building. I believe the number of people that voted was like 10 times the number of people that were usually
At town meeting,
at town
yeah.
meeting, or more than that.
It was a very good turnout.
Speaking of-
It was a very good turnout.
Speaking of people showing up for meetings, how much have we made off the weed stuff so far? Do we know? Marijuana? I was just promised millions. I'm just trying to remember if it's,
I think
I think we're over it.
200, yeah, I don't-
cumulatively, we're over a
2 or
million.
3, yeah.
Took a little while to get there.
I don't know if we're at cumulative millions yet.
I don't think we're at millions, no.
No. This has been a
It's my hot button issue.
hot button for Greg.
No.
Since town meeting approved it, with people from the audience
On the town website.
talking about promises of,
So far this year, 167K.
Greg, you're about to get your second in agreement from me tonight, so.
Thank you. I was promised millions. I knew
We
at
were.
some point in time.
And the thing is, it gets
You need to
diluted
start
because there were so many locations all over.
Well, that was my argument was 5 isn't
Yes.
gonna multiply it by 5.
No.
And I was told I was a little crazy.
That's
No,
diluted.
and
Yeah.
at the time that it passed, there were very few towns that had passed regulations for it at the time, and so the places that were open, the amount of money that was being taken in taxes was not indicative of what towns would bring in as more and more open.
They changed the rules.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
As,
Yeah.
They also,
Changed
We
the
had that other piece to
they
get that
also
other
took
piece of
away
money.
some
Right.
of the
Yeah.
taxes.
HCA's, yeah.
we were,
The local
we were
law.
supposed to get another 3% from the impact fee, but the state is no longer allowing that, so revenues are half what
Yes.
you expected them to be,
Yeah.
just based on that rule
So
change.
again, thank you to the state of Massachusetts.
But I think there was a reason why the state.
This
Sure, there's a reason.
There was, no, I'm just saying, I think there was some kind of legal, if I remember correctly, issue. The businesses themselves were complaining about that impact fee.
I felt as though they were being shook down for,
Right. And so.
And they probably were.
they
that's
probably
why
were.
The state backed off.
Are there any issues like that this year, or is it just the budget?
Shakedowns?
No. I mean, maybe, like, I don't know, like issues that will bring people.
I believe Emily is asking what else
Yeah.
is on the warrant for this year. I think the biggest thing that will bring people in this year are the financial
The-
concerns and
okay.
the override. But I don't know, we do have a couple of members of our select board here in the audience
Like
tonight.
the only number.
I don't know what else is on the potential warrant. I don't know if you guys know if there's anything that looks like it might be a hot button item, like
we
banning,
just add
banning
something?
nips. Or, what was that?
Right to farm.
Right to farm. That's a good point.
can we
For
just
those who've
add
been following the
something?
board.
We should,
notes.
no matter what it is,
Yeah, can we
add
add
something,
something
and it has to be at the end.
at the
Just,
end?
if you just put the word marijuana and put it at the end, there'll be 9,000
Not-
people.
like,
in there.
like, not right to farm, like something that's like, just.
If somebody makes something up,
It's not built to
Farm is-
just-
That might be it.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we would want it to actually be
Paving over,
Okay, but like something that we know wouldn't, or something just
Island
to
Road.
like,
something that would draw people in.
They'll come out.
Trash,
They'll come
let's
out.
put trash back on.
if you put trash on there,
So I
Asking
don't
for an
know what-
override is going to bring people out to
I
vote.
don't know what our new town manager's opinion is. Last year, we went to town meeting to try to turn trash into a fee. It was fairly narrowly voted down. The previous town manager's opinion was to not put that forth again this year. I don't know if the current town manager, not for him to answer right now and put him on the spot, but I don't know what the current town manager's position would be on whether or not to bring that fee structure back.
It would bring that group of people if we're looking to get sheer numbers, but we don't want angry people that then would not be open-minded about looking at, so it's a double-edged sword, although,
It is-
you know,
it is.
I live in a town where it's outside, so.
One of the things that we had found last year when researching was that the majority of the communities around us have a fee for.
Right, it's a ratepayer. I'm a taxpayer.
And there's a
you know.
way to make it, there's a way to take the trash, no one wants a trash bill.
Yeah.
But we also don't want to be.
We also don't want an
We're just
override.
chasing the increases are just astronomical. What were the percentages? 15% over 3 years?
Like 17.
I mean,
Over
17% over 3 to 4
6 years, it was, what,
I think we're at-
54%
Oh, yeah.
over a 6-year span?
You're talking about solid
We're
waste.
just over, yeah, and
So-
the cost to get rid of the
Recycling,
recycling
yeah.
has gone.
which doesn't happen, by the way.
Greg,
just
Greg,
cannot-
this is another hot
Just
button item for
facts.
Greg.
We just
Just
can't
throw out
We have
facts.
hit, we have hit on 2 of Greg's
A
3
lot
hot
of
button.
people, to Greg's
hot button
point, a lot of
items.
people,
What's the third?
a lot of people
It
say that.
literally doesn't happen. It's an actual thing that
bring it
doesn't
up.
happen. But we still separate the boxes or whatever, and
Yeah.
they take them out and they put them in the same place. And we pay more now for the
Yeah.
recycling to go to the same place.
Month by month, sometimes it's less.
I'm just saying, it's
Just
wild.
so it's funny we should talk about trash. The only that I can share this information, and that is, we're going out to a bid on the new trash contract because the present contract that we have, even though the company, from what I hear, is doing a great job, we went out to bid 5 years ago. They got a 3-year contract with 2 one-year extensions, which that expires on June 30th. So I'm working with Chris from the Board of Health. We're gonna get a request for proposal out. And hopefully we'll come back with a good economy of scale.
That would be good. Other questions?
I have a comment to circle
Other
back
comments?
to the previous comment about people not staying to discuss the budget. I was like shocked to see everyone so mad about just the slight trash fee leave when the next article was the budget. I was like, wow.
And had anyone called quorum when we have been screwed?
Probably yes.
So are there ways, and this probably is beyond the scope of this committee, so apologies, but now that we're in it, let's talk about it. Are there ways we can entice people to go? Can we do like a raffle?
So that is certainly a
Can I
question.
bake
I mean,
500
I've been saying
That is a question
cookies.
I'll
for
bake
our,
500 cookies.
it's a question for our select board more than for
I
this
think Barbara had candy, but it might
Can
have
we
just been for
bribe
us.
people?
It's just for
Can we do a raffle?
Bribe, I wouldn't say use the word bribe.
Okay, sorry.
I would
In the,
That might be one of those hot words.
That was in the ethics training. Can we bake cookies? Can we do a raffle of like local businesses?
We do have a former select board member who I think is running for select board
I'm
again.
Ken Coyle. I've heard of a town that put all the article numbers in like a bingo thing, picked them out and random order.
That's
Oh.
so fun,
That's what we
actually.
did. We did
That's
that
not-
in Marshfield.
That's not
He
bad.
has to stay, if the budget's number one, people want you to leave out of that, but you never know.
Yep.
That would be there on time.
It's like a lottery,
Yeah.
Yeah.
a
That's what we
lottery
did.
of articles.
That's actually really fun.
One do it like a dueling piano thing, and people can pay to have their article like brought forward early.
That could reduce the budget.
Yeah, it only
That's what I was
costs you
thinking.
1 million.
It actually didn't keep people, it actually ended up costing the town more money. Because when you had articles that involved consultants to be there, you're paying them by the hour
Yeah,
to
to
sit
be-
there. And my previous town meetings were 2, 3, sometimes 5 days, so it's a long time at 100 and something bucks an hour to have people sit.
I'm not sure, say that again? You were
So-
sitting somewhere for 3 days?
We were town meeting, no, town meeting lasts like
Would
5 days,
continue The
yeah.
next day. and
So,
the
yeah.
next day.
Continue it.
So in our charter, it's like Monday, Tuesday, off Wednesday, back
I think we
Thursday.
say it in jest.
Yes.
You know,
You just-
the ideas for getting more people to town meeting. I think we'll have a good turnout for this town meeting because we are talking about an override. But even at a good turnout, when you think of the number of citizens in the town.
So low.
Compared to even a good turnout at town meeting.
So,
And then those are the people that are going, the larger group is who's going to go to the polls should we.
obviously, not everyone in town is of voting age. But if we got 1% of the people in town to town meeting, we would meet our quorum. 1%. And we rarely have 2%.
I mean, you usually know what the what an interesting thing is, people are talking about it, you just put that one on the end. I mean, I think that's the easiest thing.
No, but just to get people there in general.
But all I'm saying is that you know what people are gonna, when you saw the marijuana thing, the amount of people that left, the trash thing, the amount of people that left, I mean, like, what?
Nips.
The nips thing was bananas. It was literally, not 80% of the people just, and so if they had put that at the end, they would at least had to sit there for, if somebody were to call for them. And it's not like I don't think it's a crazy thing, just.
You know, it's a great idea. We, you know, over the years, we've done, like, we've offered babysitting. We had the high school students that were certified to be babysitters. We created rooms and entertainment centers so that we could get young families in. We had the booster parents sell hot dogs and popcorn and coffee and drinks so people could come right from work to go to town meeting. We did it for a couple of years. The first year, there was a slight increase, and I say slight, less than 0.5%, and then it was diminishing returns after that.
What would you think would happen if you dropped your quorum down to 0?
Ours was 0,
Was it 0?
0,
And
yeah.
you still weren't getting a good turnout?
We still weren't, no. There
Can
was,
you
on the
reach a
third night,
quorum?
the 0 quorums. On the third night.
Can't
Oh, right,
not reach
yeah.
quorum with zero.
Yeah,
quorum.
0. But believe it or not,
Can you imagine
the
if they
elected
didn't make
officials
it?
that you had, you could operate
one
with 0
from the
quorum.
town
One
showed
person
up.
can do all the voting, yeah.
Select
But by
board
the third
didn't
night,
show
it's,
up,
you'll have like
finance didn't
45
show
people
up.
sitting in the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We vote.
We vote, right?
Yes.
By the way, I don't know who
We
it was
are-
or what year it
we
was,
vote
but
differently than
there was a
what-
definite push to go to 0
You know.
because we would get way more.
If our board.
The
Right.
past two town managers have
So
both
if
argued
something-
I
that
vote
Yeah.
Chris does.
zero quorum would
Nice.
actually increase the number of
Differently.
people that attend.
What's the
town.
quorum now?
Felt kind of fun.
100 and, oh,
we
I
have-
don't know what we went.
I know we were at 150, we
I don't know.
dropped it to 75
Yeah.
for COVID.
I think.
No, it got
150.
rejected. That went
No,
up
during,
last year.
during COVID, we dropped it to 75
Oh.
as a temporary measure.
Have
And
you ever
then
had a
I
problem
think
where
it's
they
back
couldn't
at-
meet the quorum?
We
Yeah,
have had
often.
times where we've had to wait a little bit to meet quorum, but it, like.
There's
in
been
the-
times
in
that
the
we've been
town-
calling people.
In the town that, in
Can
the
you come
time
down to
that I've
town
been on the
meeting?
board, I don't think we've waited more than 15 minutes.
I've been on when we've had to continue it to another night.
But if anybody were to call it the quorum,
Actually-
we wouldn't make it
I think
after
my
these.
first one, we didn't have it, the
Right.
fall
The
one.
special town meeting.
I don't know who calls a quorum.
2 years ago, a year or two ago, we did not get quorum and we just scrapped the special town meeting
Yeah.
and pushed everything out to the annual in the spring.
That's what pushed to go to 0 quorum because of the cost. There's a cost to put town
Right.
meeting together.
Absolutely.
And you own those costs and you postpone it. Now you double the cost, postpone it again, you triple the cost.
Yep.
But our residents are gonna be well-informed and excited to show up.
Be there, be square.
That's it.
Liaison reports?
Got nothing.
Anybody?
No.
I mentioned there's no correspondence. We do have 3 sets of meeting minutes to review. I pointed out to our board secretary, Kelly, 2 areas that I found that she is correcting on the minutes. One was that Dr. Tyler is no longer on the committee and does not need to be listed as excused. The other was that on the meeting for, I believe it was December 10th. Look again.
Yes. it's-
Yes, the meeting for December 10th, Barbara was listed as both present and excused.
I do believe that I was present on, I think I was on
On
Zoom.
December 10th.
Yes.
So, both of those are being corrected. So I think we can, and from everything else that I read through, I did not have anything to bring forward. I don't know if the first minutes were minutes for our December 3rd meeting.
Motion to approve meeting minutes for December 3rd, 2025.
I'll second it.
There's a motion from Barbara and a second from Abby. Is there any discussion on the meeting minutes of December 3rd? This is also another one where Barbara is listed as present and excused.
I was
So
on Zoom.
that will need to be adjusted. Are you there for IT, veterans, water?
Yes. I was.
Thought so.
But I was on Zoom.
Any discussion on those meeting minutes? I thought that they were very well prepared, very informative, lots of things brought back to my mind as I was reading over them, so. Without any further discussion, all those in favor of approving the minutes from December 3rd?
Aye.
All those opposed? Abstaining? The minutes for December 3rd are approved as amended to not list Barbara as excused. December 10th, same thing.
Motion to approve the meeting minutes of December 10th, 2025, with the amendments made by the chair.
Motion is made. At that one, Emily and Greg were not in attendance. Thus cannot vote on them. Is there a second?
I think I just heard Chris second.
Second.
Chris,
Someone seconds.
Chris is goaded into seconding. Any discussion on the December 10th minutes? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? 2 abstentions. They are passed. The last set of minutes that we have for tonight are from the January 21st meeting. Everybody was at that meeting, so we can all vote
Motion
and
to
make
approve the
motions.
meeting minutes of January 21st, 2026.
Motion from Barbara, second by Abby, who does not want Chris to get bullied into seconding again. Any discussion on the January 21st meeting minutes? Without any, all those in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, it is unanimous. The minutes are approved for January 21st. And that brings us to the last item on our agenda, discussion of our next meeting. Next meeting will be next Wednesday, February 11th. We will have the South Shore Vocational and Technical School here to talk to us. We did get a sneak preview of a budget amount, which looked favorable.
Yes.
So
So
that's
next week I will be, my work schedule changed a
Barbara
little
will
bit,
be on
so I will be on Zoom. So if someone could send me that Zoom link, it's always, because I will be,
it's the same. So if you
well, if someone can send me it so that I can just tap it, because I'll be, literally be getting out of work and running with my phone to
I
get in
see-
my car
I
and
see
drive home.
Andrew writing a note down.
Thank you, Andrew. That way I can just like tap myself in and put my phone so I'm no hands,
Yep.
just in case the police chief's watching.
Anybody else with issues for attendance next week?
Is it just the 2 schools that we have left for department
We
heads?
also have the DPW.
Okay.
the town accountant and the town, not the town accountant, the town manager and the treasurer, both of which are, or the three of those are waiting towards the end of the department.
Okay.
When I looked up at the board, I thought it said waiting for
Highway,
health
park,
insurance rats.
sewer.
I was like, oh,
They're waiting for snow and ice, or they're waiting for the cost.
Yeah, the cost.
they are waiting for the cost of snow and ice and hoping for no more snow.
I heard there's more this weekend.
I've seen mixed forecasts on that.
I'm not looking for
We were
more.
supposed to get snow on Sunday and we didn't.
Yeah,
which-
right, yeah.
knock on
I think we
wood
should
that
keep
that
the
trend
budget for snow and
continues.
ice at 100 grand. That's what I think.
That's number 3, right?
That is actually not number 3.
Oh,
That's my.
I will tell
That's-
people, I will
Number
tell people
2.
what number 3 is when we are out of session and Greg
As we're
has.
getting into our cars.
And Greg is out of earshot so that Greg does not go off on it. Any discussion on the February 11th meeting?
no.
Actually, I was checking my schedule to make sure that I'll be here. I don't believe I have.
No matter what, we don't have February 18th, right?
February 18th, we are not planning on meeting if something
February
comes up.
vacation, yeah.
We typically do not meet the week of February vacation. There are usually a lot of people away. I do not have any conflict, so that should be good for me for next week.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second
Motion
it.
to adjourn from Barbara, second very rapidly from Abby.
It's right on it tonight.
Any further discussion? Without any, all those in favor of adjourning?
I.
It is unanimous. We are adjourned. Thank you all and have a good night.
Yeah.